We always expect the big moves to be between the wrestlers, but there are numerous times the referees got absolutely wrecked. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10. Goldberg. Goldberg is known as being one of the most intense wrestlers in the history of the business. His legendary career in WWE and WCW was punctuated by his long undefeated streak, which would inevitably bring him the title and a lot of fame. His famous finisher was a brutal spear that would cut most men in half, and yes, that includes a referee. During a match with Shawn Michaels, things were not going Goldberg's way, and so he decided he wanted to take out some frustration by spearing Michaels to Kingdom Come. But, as you would expect, it didn't take. Michaels ducked out of the way and Goldberg speared the ref. This is what you call a classic ref spot, because you can tell from the positioning of the people and the camera angle that things were going to go badly for the ref, and sure enough, it did. Number 9. Brogue Kick. You might think it's only accidents that lead to a ref getting wrecked, but that's not true one bit. In fact, it happens all the time intentionally. Here is a great example. Sheamus, who was a face at the time, was in a match with Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio pulled a fast one to get the win, and Sheamus decided that he wanted to go after him to get some measure of revenge. But, despite having a chair, the ref stopped him, as was his job, and he gave the chair back to the appropriate people in order to keep everyone safe. But, Sheamus didn't like that one bit, so he decided he was going to do his finishing maneuver, the Brogue Kick, on the ref. While you can tell that he didn't do it full power like he would do on wrestlers, which is why the camera cut away when it did, you can still feel the impact of the kick. And honestly, light or heavy, none of us would want to take that kick, am I right? Number 8. Side effect of the F5. Another classic form of a ref spot is when two competitors are going at it and then one of the people go and do a move, only for that move to damage their opponents and the ref themselves. A great example of this was in a brutal conflict between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. These two have battled many times before, and one time at Extreme Rules, they were going at it with great intensity when Brock Lesnar went for his finishing move, the F5. The move requires Lesnar to spin Cena off of his shoulders, and when he did that, Cena's legs hit the ref, knocking him out, and thus making it so that Lesnar couldn't get the pin. Cena would eventually win the match as a result. But in the immediate aftermath, Brock Lesnar wasn't happy that the second ref didn't come in quicker to help him win the match, and so Brock took him out too. I'm sensing some very serious anger issues from Lesnar. Number 7. Rumbling the refs. To get this particular ref wrecking, you have to understand the event known as the Royal Rumble. This is one of the WWE's biggest events of the year, and if you win the match, you'll get a match at WrestleMania for the title of your choosing. One year, Shawn Michaels was very desperate to win the match so that he could go on to face a certain opponent. And at one point in time in the match, it seemed as though he would indeed be the one to win. After knocking a person back into the ring, he thought he was safe until he was eliminated by Batista. When Michaels fell to the ground, you could tell he was crushed. He rushed right back into the ring and begged the referee to let him back into the match, but the ref, rightfully so, couldn't allow it to happen because that's not how the match worked. HBK got fed up with this and super kicked the referee out of existence. If you watch it closely enough, you'll see some good height by the ref getting kicked. Yeah, that wasn't the best moment for Shawn Michaels, but sometimes you just have to kick people. Number 6. You've hit rock bottom. If you're looking for another classic ref spot, then you don't have to look much farther than the wrestler who is frustrated that they didn't get the 3 count after a certain move. During a classic fight with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock hit a big Samoan drop, but only got a 2 count. When The Rock got up, he confronted the ref because he was sure that it was a 3 count, but the ref held firm. So, what does The Rock do? He uses his move, the rock bottom, on the ref, planting him and making sure his point got across. Ironically, this would usually end up being a DQ with The Rock losing, but as Lawler points out, this was a no DQ match. So, The Rock honestly made a wise move in his own right. 5. Giant spin. Here's another example of a wrestler not being happy with a call and taking it out on a ref. During the revival of ECW, Rob Van Dam was fighting against the Big Show, and Big Show landed his signature move, the chokeslam, on RVD. And just about everyone thought the match was over. However, RVD kicked out. Big Show was so frustrated with this that he decided to do a clinch hold on the ref and then violently spin him so he landed on the mat. Unlike the rock bottom, this was a much more dangerous move to perform on a ref, and the crowd reacted appropriately to that. Number 4. Ladders. Let's see. We've had unintentional shots, intentional shots, frustration shots. What are we missing? Oh, how about weapons shots? In a ladder match between Edge and Eddie Guerrero, Edge decided that he just needed to take out Eddie for good, and as a result of that, he got out a ladder and rushed him so that he could just end him. But Eddie wasn't a fool, and he felt Edge coming, so he dodged just in the nick of time, and thus Edge hit the referee instead. Good times. Number 3. The Cell Conflict. This particular ref bump is one of the most famous in history. It was a cell match between Triple H and Chris Jericho. During a regular spot in the match, Chris Jericho hit the referee, and that sent him flying through the air and into the cage, where he hit the steel and the floor with a mighty sound. Now, depending on who you believe, this was either planned or a total accident. WWE played it like it wasn't intentional, and if you look at the hit, you can see it was quick, violent, and very unprotected. But as to whether it wasn't planned, it is WWE, and could a shot from Jericho really have launched him that far? You be the judge.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Number 2. Interception. No, this isn't about football refs, but as you'll see here, as a ref was racing in to help end a match, Shane McMahon blasts him in his blind side and sends him flying. No good.
Don't touch me again.
Number 1. Dead man throwing. When it comes to The Undertaker, there is little wrong he can do. And that goes especially when he has to deal damage to someone and decides to just throw a ref at him. Watch and behold. And there you go. Sometimes that refs in WWE got absolutely wrecked by superstars, both past and present. Can you believe some of the spots these refs had to be a part of? Which of these destroyed refs was your favorite of the bunch? Do you know another time a ref got wrecked that should be on this list? Let me know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.